Hey guys, welcome back. This is Chapter 7 Study Guide. We did page 2 in the last video, and we're going to do the last page. Make sure you study the whole study guide for the test on Thursday or Friday. Let's do it. Okay, so it says, this stuff is from back on semester 1, so we got to make sure we don't forget it. It says, given that SRT is congruent to STR. So they're saying, given this is congruent to that. Wow, folks, that looks like an isosceles triangle. If it's got two equal sides, it's got two equal angles, and vice versa. Now, let's say that RST is this expression. RST is this expression. So this is this angle up here. And let's say STU is 9x. STU is 9x. Okay. Find the angle STR. Okay. STR. So STR, this is this original angle. So how are we going to do this? We don't know what these two angles are, but we know that they're the same number. We also know this is 9x, and this is whatever, 180 minus it, right? So we know these two angles have to add up to 180. So the angle we're solving for, I guess I'm just going to call y, because I already have a letter x. Okay, so what is y? Well, I know that y plus the 9x has to equal 180, because together they make a straight line. So let's solve for y. Okay, so y would equal 180 minus 9x. Okay, so I can actually rebuild this triangle here. Y is equal to 180 minus x, and this is also the same angle, 180 minus 9x, and this is 8x minus 50. So all three of these angles have to add up to 180 because that is a triangle. So I'm going to add these three things up. And all three of these angles, this angle, and this angle, have to add up to 180. Okay, so I've got 180 minus 9x, 180 minus 9x, 8x minus 50. So I got to combine all this stuff. I could combine it all together, but I just clumped these two things. Now I'm going to clump these two. I could have just done it all together, I guess. But okay, so 360 minus 50 would be 310. Negative 18x plus 18, so that'd be negative 10x. Okay. So let's add 10x on both sides. Subtract 180. I get 10x is equal to 130. Okay, so x is 13. What does it say? It says solve for this angle right here. So I haven't really finished, but I solved for this angle if this is 13. So let's take a look. They want me to solve for this, and this angle is 180 minus 9x. So 180 minus 9x, and x is 13. So 180 minus 9 times 13. I get 63. Okay. Number 23. It says, for what value of x would be p, well, wait, for which line p, so you're supposed to kind of picture these are lines here, and that's a transversal. For what value of x would force these two to be parallel? So they're not parallel, but we know that all the acute angles would be equal if they were parallel, and all the obtuse ones were equal if they were parallel. So let's look at which angles we have here. So if we have a little piece of scratch paper, we notice angle 1 and angle 3 are both obtuse. Angle 1 and angle 3 literally are the exact same angle if they were equal to each other. So both of them are obtuse. Those are spelled corresponding. So this is called the inverse corresponding angle theorem. So that inversely, if angle 1 is equal to angle 3, because they're in corresponding positions, if they're equal, we can come to the conclusion they're parallel. So let's substitute that in. We can substitute for x in for angle 1, and 112, and for angle 3, and solve. All right, so x is 28. So what is the value of x? 28. Here's another one. We see one triangle, right? And that triangle has 3 angles that add up to 180. A 59, 35, and an x. So let's combine these terms. All right, we get 86. So now back in our picture, we say that's 86. Well, notice Z and 86 make a straight line. So Z and the 86 make a straight line, so they also have to add up to 180. So we get Z is equal to 94. Well, this is our exterior angle theorem. We know that this angle out here in the exterior has to add up to these 2 remotes. So that would have been a shortcut too. I could have added these 2 numbers and gotten the number 94. Okay, now my last triangle, this triangle here is a very obtuse triangle. You see it here. We know 2 of the 3 angles. So the 3 angles add up to 180, and the 3 angles are 94, 11, and then y. So let's combine. And this is stuff we worked on last semester. It's just a good review, really good review. Okay. Now let's see, it says this line, DF, cuts this angle in half. That's what bisect means, to cut in half. Okay. So that means this angle is equal to this angle. We notice they gave us this is a right angle, this is a right angle, and we know this length is equal. So it's kind of angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. We know these are twin triangles. Those are equal triangles because of angle, angle, side congruence. Angle, angle, side, triangle congruence. But they didn't ask why. They just want me to set this equal and solve. So because of corresponding parts of congruent triangles, we know that since these are twin triangles, then this third side would have to match that third side. So we can set those equal and solve. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so 42 divided by 7 is 6. Cool. Now it says, list the sides in order, shortest to longest. Really cool, what a cool question. So I'm gonna build a triangle, ABC. I don't know how big the angles are, so I'll just assume they're all approximately the same. I'm not sure, but angle A, they said, is 9x minus 7, B is 7x minus 9, and C is 28 minus 2x. What do we know? Well, we know all 3 angles have to add up to 180. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C adds up to 180. So let's combine all these. So we have a 9x plus a 7x minus a 2x, so that'd be 14x. We have a negative 7 minus a 9 plus a 28. That's 12. So x is 12. Now they didn't ask for x, but that's gonna help us figure out what we're doing here. So now that we know what that is, we can solve for each of these angles. So plugging in for 12 at each of these locations, 9 times 12 minus 7 is 101. 7 times 12 minus 9 is 75. 28 minus 2 times 12, 4. Ooh. So this angle is really, really small. So I've actually redrawn this to scale. This is a really, really small angle here. This is an angle 4. This is an angle 101, so a little bigger than 90. And this is an angle 75, smaller than 90. So they want me to list the order of the sides least to greatest. So this is angle A, 101. This is angle C, 4. And this is angle B, 75. So it should be obvious, especially since I redrew this, the side that's the shortest has to be opposite the smallest angle because it's not open very far. So that would be side AB. The side that's next to longest or medium would be opposite the medium angle because that angle's open a little bit more. So that would be side AC. And the longest side is opposite the biggest number, 101. So the longest side has to be BC. Okay, one more question. What is the value of X? Identifying the missing justification. So I wouldn't have you fill these in from scratch. You'd have a word bank, but let's just work through here. It says angle AOB, this angle right here, plus angle BOC equals the whole angle AOC. That's called the angle addition postulate because I added angles. So the angle addition postulate. Okay, what did they do? Well, it looks like AOB in the picture was 2x, so they just substituted in 2x. BOC from the picture was this expression, and given in our problem was that, and they substituted that in. So I'm going to call that substitution. They told us this whole angle has to add up to 150, so we know this whole angle has to be 150. Okay, then it looks like they got rid of parentheses. We call that distribution. Okay, then it looks like they combined the 2x and the 6x, so we call that combined like terms. Okay, then it looks like they added 18 on both sides, like we've been doing a bunch of this, right? So that's called addition property of equality because we did it on both sides of the equal sign. And last but not least, it looks like they divided both sides by 8 because 168 divided by 8 is 21. So that is the last step, division property of equality. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you study. Good luck.